And we are live.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Everybody
Wa
out there.
alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing, Farah host, Farah Ferrero?
So yes, we are live here at Ramadan FM on EAVA FM 102.5. Thank you for listening in. My name's Farah, also known as
Farah
Farah.
Ferrero.
You can't, guys. Everyone knows Farah Ferrero.
And in the studio with me, I have the amazing, from my right to my left, because we're Muslim when we read from the right to left, Saima.
Yes.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Saima. Oh my gosh. This is the problem I had last week with the mic. I hope everyone can hear me.
Okay, let's turn over. This is more pressure.
So I'm Saima, plain old me, work for the NHS, and I love women empowerment.
Yay! And we have Sumaya in the house.
Hi everyone. So, my name is Sumaya and I'm known as Flawless by Sumaya. I am a makeup artist and I just love making women feel beautiful in their own skin. Yeah.
Next, we have...
Hi guys, I'm Aya Nuru and I'm known as Aya Nuru.
Yay!
And I do everything really. I like empowering people. I like healing, empowering, spreading love.
And guys, she does amazing spoken word.
Stop it.
So I'm hoping you guys get a sneak preview and snippet of something exclusive on here tonight.
Stop it.
And next we have...
We have Kainat. Simply Kainat here. And that's it. Just trying to be simply myself and making people love themselves by simply being themselves.
What better way to explain that?
Wow, mashallah. What an amazing lineup of ladies we have tonight. So our show today is called Girl Talk, When Women Get Real. So what do you think, what does that mean to you, Saima, when women get real?
No boundaries. Let me just get a bit closer to the mic.
I think I've hugged it all. I should move up a bit.
Hopefully everyone can hear me. I would say it's just about no boundaries. It's about, as I said, keeping it real. A lot of women kind of hold back from speaking about things. So let's talk about things that people don't want to talk about.
Yeah, and what does that mean? Does that mean taboo subjects? Does that mean things that the community don't often speak about? What does that mean to you, Saima?
Taboo subjects. Because if we're not going to speak about it, our children will grow up not speaking about things. So definitely taboo subjects. And things that the community don't want to speak about as well. Because we are here with a voice. We have a responsibility as well. So definitely that.
Okay, and Sumaya, in terms of like female empowerment, how do you as a person bring forth empowerment in women that you work in terms of clients as well as people you work alongside with?
So yes, the industry I'm in is it can be quite superficial at times, but I think when I meet my clients, I'm not just there to paint a face and get off. I'm there to meet that individual, to get to know that individual, and everyone has like their own story. And I find over time, women are not just looking to beautify themselves and look pretty and know what the latest brands are and stuff. They want to feel confident within themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when women themselves help to beautify themselves and make themselves feel good in them, like within
the inside.
Yeah, from the inside. I think that's when women sort of. I'm so nervous, guys.
No, don't be. Is it your first time on the radio?
I'm actually so nervous,
Is it your
guys.
first time on the radio?
It's not, but it's been a very long time since I've come on.
Oh.
I just feel like women should feel good from the inside, and I think that's what I do in my daily job. I sort of help women bring that out themselves.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's about supporting each other and showing confidence and bringing confidence out in one another, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, Alia, I'm going to turn the hot seat on to you today. So what does female empowerment mean to you? How is it that you empower not just females? I mean, guys, I know this is a group of girls talking to the girls out there, but nowadays I feel like empowerment is something that each and every one of us have to equally fight for, right? Not just women. So what do you aim to do? And in your daily life or in the life that you lead, what are your aims and objectives of having a positive effect on somebody and leaving a lasting effect?
Well, I just feel like we're all one. Male, female, black, white, brown, all of us, we're all one. And the reason female empowerment has come up is because a lot of women feel like very ostracized by men, disrespected by men. And to be honest, the disrespect comes from men, but also women, to a certain extent, put each other down, which is, it's not okay. And once we realize that we are stronger together as one, and we can actually go further and move forward better by empowering each other, by lifting each other up, then the world would be a much better place. And to just bring about positivity and help each other heal and understand each other and come from a place of non-judgment, we could really take each other so much further than we are doing right now.
And I always go by this motto, like a little kindness goes a long way, and I try my best to live by it, but there's only so much one person can do, right? But if we're all in this together, like, I don't mean to sound like a High School Musical song, but I mean, basically, but I mean, a little kindness does go a long way, and it's exactly what it says on the tin. And simply Kainat, can you tell us in not so simple terms
Try my best.
what does female empowerment mean to you?
Female empowerment. I think it all comes down, for me, it all comes down to equality. So it's not just the empowerment of females, but the men as well. So for me, on a day-to-day, I personally try to find strengths in everyone. Because I don't like to be the hype man. I don't want to be called the hype man. But in a way, it's good to be the hype man. You got to find people's strengths and make them feel comfortable in what they're good at and what they can achieve, because I think a lot of people look down at everyone, so not just females here, but look down at people as to what their weaknesses are, but forget about all the strengths that they do have. So I think the empowerment in that is to find people's strengths and kind of congratulate
And also
them.
believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Know what you're worth.
Yeah, definitely.
And trying to bring it back to like Islam and the vibe of Ramadan, I know there are a lot of female role models in Islamic history. Is there any sort of particular role models that stand out to you guys? Like anyone in Islamic history? I know that Bibi Khadija radiallahu anha was a famous businesswoman, was amazing businesswoman.
She was a CEO.
Yes.
She was, at the time, was basically a millionaire. And she was older than the Prophet. She was already married. And she hired the Prophet to work for her. And she fell in love with his honesty. And she proposed to him.
Yes.
And in the 21st century, you don't see that happening much, especially in the Muslim societies. It's just not a thing. But back then, where girls were being buried alive for being girls, that's what you call female empowerment.
Yeah.
For sure.
I agree.
For sure. And there's so many accounts of women in Islam. For example, Bibi Maryam, she was a single mother, right? So there's a lot of things that we can take away from that era, how hard it was for them to bring children up on their own in this world, and how women these days resonate and relate to them. But how do you, Sumaya, find a good balance between deen and dunya, might I ask?
I think for myself, I mean, when I first started social media, I started off as just posting, and then
For fun, right?
Yeah, for fun.
Yeah.
And then obviously I found the scope that I wanted to go into. And for me, I think it was just staying true to myself. The moment I started promoting my makeup, I started getting followers, and I would get followers upon followers. And actually, I was so surprised because initially I wasn't there for followers. I wasn't there to...
That wasn't your aim, right?
It was not my aim to be so well known in Leicester. Like Flawless by Sumaya came way after being a makeup artist. And I think you have to, in this day and age, like it's so difficult to keep your head strong. I think you need to, I think for myself, what I do is I just stay true to myself and I keep reassuring myself why I'm doing this. You know, it's not just to become, you know, like the most popular girl or everyone like
looks up to and stuff.
Yeah. And I think because I stay that way, I think that's how I'm growing more. I feel like because I'm genuine and I try to be the most genuine I can to my followers because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all human. And, you know, like some people, when they meet me, they're like, oh my God, you're actually so nice in person.
Yeah.
And why do they think that?
Why? Because they don't expect you to be.
They don't expect it, but that's just it. We're all human. Like even the celebrities, like the biggest of the biggest people with millions of followers, like they're all human. They all cry. They all get upset, you know, like they're all living the same lifestyle. We're all human. So I just think you need to stay true to yourself and you need to remember your purpose. And yes, this industry, it can be quite hard because, you know, you are putting yourself out there. And as a woman, you know, it can be quite frowned upon. But I think you just need to stay within your rights. And I think everyone has their own limits. And you just need to stay genuine to yourself and just remember like why you started off.
And just humble yourself.
Yeah, you just need to stay humble. Yeah, I think I'm not just saying that because I have followers. I mean that with everyone. I mean, like you can be here one day and here the next day, but you know, Allah can take that away within seconds. A number is just a number, but your heart will always stay the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can I also just take the chance to thank everyone that's listening? Also, if you're out and about, make sure you hit up the guys outside the radio station at who are having a pledge day for Rahma Mercy. They're selling paninis and stuff, so guys, come by and grab your sehri from here. They're doing a great job, mashallah. I'm gonna bring it over to Simon now. So what do you look up to? Who are your role models? Are there any female role models in the 21st century that you sort of look up to and you're sort of like, oh my God, I want to be her one day, or I want to be like her? Or is it something closer to home, like your mum or your gran or something?
Career-wise, I'd say like female scientists have always been like my role models because it was always a very male-dominated sector. And now with the whole STEM thing, I feel like that they are definitely my role models. But closer to home, definitely. Mum being number one. My mum has always been really, really humble. She's been really kind, very generous. Let me just shuffle over.
I'm just hugging you.
I've always had this problem. So yeah, my mum, she's always had very good like characteristics. Since we were young, she's always like, oh, don't litter on the streets. And you know, I used to think, why is my mum saying that? But then as I grow up, I actually realised respect your environment and then everything else comes to it. So mum, my grandmother who also was back home, has passed away. She started off telling me stories about how she gave birth to 9 kids all at home.
Wow,
as soon as she gave birth, straight away she was back into cooking, cleaning, and you know, my granddad would be with his friends playing cards and stuff like that, and it was just kind of a very like independent society. You just get on with it, it's normal. So when I heard her stories, and to look at her and think that you went through all of that on your own, and I think, okay, that's within my genetics. Like, surely I've got that power within me too to be the same. And I always said when I was younger that, oh, I want to grow up and have 8 kids. And everyone's like, 8 children? Like, how can you have 8 children? But
like, come on, get real,
yeah,
Simon.
but then you look at your family and you look at all the women. And so yeah, my role models are really my family, the women in my family.
Wow, mashallah. Well, shout out to all the mums out there and the grands.
Yes.
Mom, if you're watching.
Hi, I'm waving. Okay, and in terms of like female speakers, female authors, female role models, female poets, is there anybody that you can bring to light right now, Alia, that stands out for you in particular?
Well, for me, one person I've always wanted to be is Oprah.
You want to be Oprah?
I want to be
You
Oprah.
wanna be Oprah.
I'm going to be
I
the
feel
next
like she's the
Oprah.
next Oprah.
Oh my god, guys, we've
Not
got the next
just-
Oprah in studio.
not just because of who she is today, but what she's accomplished being a black woman, coming up in America at the time that she was coming up. I mean, racism is still so prevalent today in
Yeah.
society and in America, and how she came up in an industry that was so male dominated, was so white dominated, and doing what she's done. She's a billionaire and doing it on her own and doing it while empowering other people. So I mean, her podcast Super Soul Sundays is literally my go-to every single day on the way to work. I listen to, and just the work she's done, the charities that she helps, and the schools that she's built, the girls that she helps out in South Africa, and the connections she's made. That's just the epitome of a strong, powerful woman, and I really, really, really look up to her.
I think also why I find her so inspiring is because she went through all these problems and she didn't give up. She didn't give up, and she used those people that didn't support her and the trials that she went through as her strength, and I think that's really inspiring.
That is inspiring. Is there anything that you can think of, Gainat, in terms of the representation of women in the media, that you think you can bring to light to our listeners?
Representation of women in media. I think it just kind of hits on what Ali was saying, and the lack of women in that industry. And I think I was just, as they were talking, the one thing that I had in my mind is we do talk about the women in our lives, the women we see on media, the women we kind of come across that inspire us. But I think a lot of the times you do see the men, and we don't realize how much they kind of boost us to do what we do and who we are. Looking at the men pushing us down is the only way we're going to be like, do you know what, you can sit back down, I'm going to stand up right here, you know what I'm saying? But you can tell
you can tell she's grown up with two brothers, right?
I've grown up with two brothers, but like that's the other side of having men in your life. Like my brothers, my dad, my uncles. Like I live in an extended family, so I've had my uncles and my brothers and my dad all there with me, and it's only onwards and upwards, and it's always that push. You know, you can do it. Why you shying away, kind of thing.
Don't let it stop you that you're
exactly,
a girl.
yeah. And like I was just saying, that we always look up to all the women and the mom. Obviously, my mom, my grandma, I respect them. They encourage me, telling me all those stories and stuff. But the men in my household that encourage me constantly to do what I need to do, what I want to be, and also the men out there that are constantly pushing us down is the only way I feel like I stand up and face them.
Amazing. So I'm just thinking of anything we can spin off from that at the moment.
I've got messages here.
Go
Talk
on.
about women body shaming.
Ooh, that's a good one. Body shaming. What comes to mind when you think of body shaming? I think there's two sides to that coin. Like obviously you think you're perfect enough yourself that you're like, oh my god, let's just speak about somebody else and take the mick out of them, or you're so insecure in your own self that you're then putting the limelight on somebody else that you probably feel jealous about, maybe. I don't know.
I feel like we're raised in a society where we're expected to look a certain way.
100%.
We're shown through media, the internet, billboards, everywhere that we need to look, our body needs to be a certain size, and
that's classed as beautiful. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
that's what everyone needs to have: a certain nose shape, a certain face shape, a certain hair type, a certain body type. And I feel like the best way to combat that is to truly and fully love yourself. And I don't mean like, oh, just I look in the mirror, yeah, like I've put makeup on, I look really good today, I love myself. But like actually fully in all your imperfections, like with your acne, with your frizzy hair,
Embrace
with
it.
with your stretch marks. Look at yourself in the mirror and actually love yourself. I was listening to this podcast today about coming from a place of love instead of guilt. So when people go to the gym and when you want to stop like eating and all that kind of stuff, a lot of that we come from a place of guilt, like, oh my god, I shouldn't have eaten that chocolate, oh my god, I really need to start working out because I look like shit. If you just choose to do it because you love yourself, like, I need to start eating healthy because I love my body and I love my health.
And I need to take care of myself.
Exactly.
Not because, oh my god, I need to lose a few inches.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally agree. Like, what an amazing conversation to have. Like, over here, just in this studio right now, we're all women. We're all different shapes, sizes. We've all got different hair types. Under that hijab, I can't see, guy now. But, you know, mashallah, that's what it is. Like, it's about spreading positivity. It's about spreading love.
But I also think, like, the new mums, I really feel like they shouldn't install it in their kids. You know, like, when I was growing up, I feel like my mom was obsessed about girls looking a certain way. Like, you need to be skinny, you need to be fair, you need to be... And, you know, as a young girl, I remember feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm chubby, I'm fat. And, you know, like, I come from a family where everyone's quite petite, and I was a bit big-boned. So I remember... just feeling not very great about myself. But I think over time, I realised that I don't need to listen to anybody. I know my worth and I know what I am, and I should be happy within myself. And I think that's what I think you should install that in kids from a young age.
Yeah.
I do feel like a lot of the problems today is like maybe from family or friends. And I think it's also social media. Have you noticed, like, when you go online, it's like size 0 everywhere, weight loss tea everywhere, oh my god, and like you naturally like look at all these celebs and you're like, oh god, I look shit today. Mind my language, but I look bad today. You know, and it's like, I think you should stop comparing yourself to others. I think you should, and it's always an illusion, don't you think, girls?
Yeah.
Like, people show a certain type, like, no one shows their...
Like, you need to be fitted into a box.
Yeah.
And the fact that everybody comes in different boxes, different shapes, different sizes is something that you're saying that we need to embrace, right?
Yeah, definitely. But also, I feel like people go on social media and look at other people and feel like they're not that way, but they're not even that way.
Yeah.
There's filters, you know?
There's filters,
There's angles.
There's
you know?
face tune.
Yeah, this is it. And I think when you meet these people, like, I obviously follow these bloggers, and when you meet them in person, like, you see that they're just as normal as you.
Yeah.
You see that, you know, they've just worked so hard in getting a certain way. So putting a certain image of themselves out there that the public see or think that that's kind of desirable. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, definitely.
And it's an illusion.
I do feel like
do you think it's an illusion?
It brings a lot of insecurities to people, and I just wish that everyone knew that everyone is so beautiful. Like, they're breathing, they're waking up, they're going to sleep. Like, they have 2 eyes, they have hands, they have, you know, like, everything is so beautiful. Like, we're actually waking up every day.
And we're grateful for waking, for Allah giving us that.
Like, we have food on our table.
Yeah.
Like, we have so many things. So I feel like there's so many. I feel like as humans, we tend to, like, put ourselves down.
Or we focus on the negatives
and we
too
focus
much,
on
right?
negatives. We need to really focus on positives.
Like, I'm the type of person that goes through life looking at the cup as half full, and people see me as that annoying, chirpy girl that's always happy and jolly and giggly. And they're like, oh, you just never exhausted? Do you just never get tired of that? And I'm just like, no, but I don't know how else to be. Like, it's just me, right?
But also, your vibes rub off on others. So I love the fact that you're that way.
But that's what my name means. My name means happiness and joy. Like, I feel like it's not something that's instilled in me, but it's just something that is me. Like, it's a part of me.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Do you feel that you grew to, like, develop yourself that way? Do you think you were always that way?
I think it's always been inside of me. I feel like it's always been something I very recently had to grow to love myself, and that's what it's all about. Like, that's self-love, and that's what it's all about. It's just it's your becoming, it's your growth, it's your experiences that you put yourself in vulnerable situations, or you travel out to this country, or you do this for this group of refugees, or you go to this different city and you just like do makeup for people. Like, I feel like every little experience has had a major effect on the way I am today.
Yeah.
And I feel like every lady,
And I'm actually
woman,
so happy that you went through these experiences, because honestly, you would not be here. You would not be the woman you are today if you didn't go through that.
yeah,
I feel like everything that does happen in life, it molds you and shapes you into the person you are today. And actually, these things that are happening are preparing you for your next stage.
Yeah.
You know, it's for your next journey. I think that's really important for everyone to know, because when people do go through hard times, they question and they say like, why me and stuff. But actually, over time, once you've overcome the problem, you realize that
like
actually
it all makes sense.
that it all
exactly
makes
why,
sense,
right?
that it all makes sense. Like, God always has a better plan.
Yeah, so true. Is there any experiences, Gaina, that you think have grown you or shaped you very, very like significantly, that stand out in your mind right now?
I think the fact that all those people that I unfollowed on Instagram that could have potentially made me feel the way I should have been, kind of quotation there, how I should look like, kind of thing, just taking them away from your sight. I'm the kind of person that tries to love myself as much as possible, tries to be myself as much as possible, and I probably wouldn't turn towards that, but just taking it away from my kind of sight on my Instagram feed just makes it a lot better. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank every single person on social media that keeps it as real as possible. Like, flaws of flaws, yeah, keeping it out there, telling people, yeah, I've got this flaw, I got that flaw, but be goofy as you want, Farah, you're one. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be real on social media, because you don't want people to come up to you like Samir was saying, oh, I didn't realise you were that nice in real life.
Yeah.
If you're real on social media, you gotta be real in real life. You gotta be real when you're on your own in your own house.
Yeah.
Because that's a different thing. Social media is a different thing.
You gotta
Being
be
outside
true to
your
yourself.
house, yeah. Because some people are going outside their house and putting up that little, mask.
And they're a
then going
completely
home.
different person.
Exactly.
I
I get it. It's a lot of times it's not easy, because sometimes you feel a little low down, like at home, but out there you just want to put that face up. But sometimes it's okay to be low outside as well. If you ain't low outside, then you ain't got no one to talk to. You got to talk to someone, and I'm all about that talk. You got to talk, because then that's how you get to know each other. That's how your feelings get out. So
You got to communicate,
talk,
because if you don't communicate, there will always be misunderstandings, and that way there's a lot of friction and tension caused. And really, we're all adults. I think it's better to just talk about your feelings, get it out in the open, and then move on.
So we're keeping it real out
This
here,
is
guys.
why
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah, this is
This
why we're
is why
here.
we're
We're creating that conversation, guys. And like Gainat said, keeping it real. So if you're listening out there, hashtag down below, keeping it real. And who was to ever know that these amazing, not me, you four.
You're amazing. You're amazing.
I was just begging that compliment.
You know you are.
I was just begging that compliment. But these amazing women in this studio right now were to be destined to sit here around the mics, around these amazing little 4K cameras, who get every nook and cranny and bad side of mine on live on on Facebook. Sorry. Was there anything that you could add in terms of like destiny, like how we were destined to meet and how we were destined to have this certain conversation on this topic?
So, I believe in the power of now. And there's no such thing as the present and the future, because all you have is now. Even the future that we talk about, the only future that you actually get is the present moment. I don't know if a lot of you can resonate with that or understand what I mean by that. And when you live in the now, the universe conspires to bring all the things that you want for you. So, like, just an example, I was thinking, I really want to go on the radio, but I've been so busy. And suddenly Saima messages me and she's just like, oh, do you want to come on the radio with me? And I was like, yeah, sure. We came on the radio and I was like, oh, that was fun. I would definitely want to do that again.
Was that your first time then? The day I met you?
Yep.
In here? Not the day I met
Yeah.
you, but the day that I saw you in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just happened to be here as well.
I know.
And we were like, we know each other.
Like, hello, let's do this.
I know, like we met today, and I remember you with your fringe and like being so cute. No, you actually look the same, just a new hairstyle.
Well, that's good.
So destiny is definitely, it's something that's written, but it's written in a way that we consciously created every single day. And the best way to create your destiny, your best kind of destiny, is to put an intention out there and to live in the power of now. If you guys haven't read the book by Eckhart Tolle, you really need to. It's life changing. And again, I was just like, oh, I want to go on the radio again, but I was just living in gratitude and doing my thing, living in the now. And then suddenly Farah messages me and she's like, oh, do you want to come on the radio again? And I know for sure that whatever I want is going to come to me. My destiny is already created, but I'm going to live through it, if that makes sense. I don't know if you get that. Do you understand that? Do you know what I mean?
Like, do you remember that book when you were a kid and you were reading it and they have to go through like some obstacles and they're like, you can't go under it.
You can't go over it. You have to go through it.
That's really true.
Guys, we're getting so many comments here. People are saying, someone's asking about your accent, Alia.
Oh, okay.
Where is your accent from?
So I've been told that I have a transatlantic accent.
Can you explain what that means? Because
I was...
It doesn't sound halal now, Jake.
I was born in Leicester, but I didn't live here until 2 years ago. I was raised in Malawi, and then I was in a British school there, and then I went to Sharjah in UAE, and I was in American university there. Then I came here, so I feel like my accent is just a huge blend of all different cultures and countries and everything.
Amazing. Simon, what does beauty mean to you? That's a question and a half, isn't it?
Big question. Let's try to keep it simple, because I can go on and
Simply
on.
kinda.
Beauty, it sounds so cliche, but literally it's like beauty within, because I have seen some very beautiful women, like aesthetically beautiful.
No, Jake.
But personality-wise, I couldn't say the same thing. But then I've seen women who maybe don't fit the standards of society. Not that they mean anything anyway. But the personality, amazing. You know, you just meet someone and you get that vibe of someone that, when you say, oh, who's your inspiration, who's your role model, to become the best person that I am, and also to become like the women that I've met, like through my traveling, my volunteer work, just the women who are, they literally put their heart and soul into what they do, even though they don't get the recognition for it. But I'd say beauty is really, it is from within, because when you're beautiful from within, someone who doesn't even know you will look at you and think, you know what, you're actually beautiful. And when someone looks at you and for your personality they call you beautiful, that's when I think that's the biggest compliment you can ever get. So beauty for me is literally personality. I would say personality, your actions towards people around you, your actions towards the environment. If I see someone, for example, like in a restaurant and they treat a waitress as, you know, someone who's below them, that automatically will put me off you straight away. Like, it's someone who treats everyone equally, because you could
no matter what their status, right?
You could be anyone. You could be, you know, from all the way to the bottom, you could be taken to the top, and it's just like that, Allah can take it away from you.
100%.
So, like, beauty is literally appreciating what you have around you and letting people sort of feel your vibes, and respect, honesty, and just the basic principle, just be a good person. I don't know why it's so hard for people to just be kind. And we were talking about this the other day, like, I feel like it's human nature to be kind, like our evolution or whatever it is. But now it's become a kind of thing where
it's a novelty.
Kind,
yes.
If you're kind, you're like, yeah, it's a novelty. It's like, wow, she's so nice. Or it's like, it becomes a case where you're vulnerable. If you're nice, you become vulnerable because you've got more to lose. Whereas if you're horrible, it's like, yeah, like you'll have a bigger sort of backing. It's like pack of the wolves.
We were saying that, if somebody's being nice to someone, that they're gonna think, oh, why is she being so nice to me?
Yeah.
What does she want from me?
What's the ulterior motive?
What's the ulterior
Yeah, but has
motive?
it really come to that?
It
Has
has.
it really?
has. It
Has
has.
it really come to that?
Yes.
Like,
Where-
I feel like I've personally experienced it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's something that I'm not saying I'm nice in no way, shape or form. I am not perfect, but I feel like sometimes I'm just too happy and people are just like, why is she so
Yeah,
happy?
And you
but-
make
Like,
an effort. You make an effort to like be there for people, which is something that people take for granted.
Yeah,
You know,
for
someone
sure.
being there for you, just listening to you and stuff, like that's a big deal, because sometimes that's all people need and sometimes that's what people don't have. And you're that kind of person, like you put yourself forward to be there for people.
I
that
think
then-
all of us in this room are.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we all resonate on some level. I feel
Well,
like,
of course, that's why we all are together, like vibes. But yeah,
I do feel like everyone should be kind and everyone should be giving, but not to focus too much on what other people are going to think and say, because that's going to have an effect on how you are. I think you should just concentrate on being yourself and being the kind person you are, help where you can, and if people want to judge you, if they want to hate on you, if they want to have an opinion on you, that's their problem, like that's not yours.
that's a you problem, not a me problem,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
here.
Guys,
There's
I
so
really
many-
feel like I've connected with you guys on another level today.
Women power.
Literally,
Powerful girls.
literally.
So I want to just like put this out there. How is everyone's Ramadan going? Like we're already in the last
10
third,
days.
like the last 10 days. Like how have you felt this Ramadan? Like what have you learnt this Ramadan? Like how has Ramadan been for you guys?
It's gone
Coffee.
fast, way
Yeah.
too fast.
Guys, like
Crazy
this is crazy.
fast.
I remember last Ramadan and we're already
It's
in this
gone-
Ramadan and this one
Like,
is nearly gone.
I just remember preparing like frying things and saying that we're going to do this in Ramadan and we're going to do this, and like, you know, I bought like a whole new set of abayas to be prepared, and we're already nearly finished. Like
Crazy,
it's just
right?
insane.
Like, I had a charity event today, so I feel like, oh my god, I'm in such a hyped mood. Literally, I feel like I had all my hype men around me today, and women, yeah.
I was at home with a migraine, so I'm
Oh,
sorry.
oh no, it's fine, Simon. You were with me in spirit.
Oh.
But it was so amazing. Like the amount of love that was in that room.
Oh,
I
it was
literally
beautiful.
thought, okay, I'm gonna fill like a few tables, and it was like, okay, in the end, it was like a full room, and then we raised money, and then I was like, oh my
That's the
god.
main thing.
And
As
do you
long as
know what?
came
Do you know
out of
what's so beautiful about it? Whether you had people enter or not, the money you raised today is what you
Mhm.
didn't have yesterday.
Yeah.
You didn't have that money yesterday, and you have it today. And I just think that in itself is beautiful.
And every single person, every single volunteer was so selfless, rolled their sleeves up and really got involved and really took advantage of the situation of like chatting to each other, networking, speaking, making new friends, and just taking responsibility.
This event, I was so happy you did it, because actually when you first started to make the pledges and ask, you know, that's always the hardest bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Asking for the money. One person put their hand up, and then I think for a while no one did.
Yeah.
And then when that one person did, it motivated the other person,
Yeah.
and then the other person thought they can do it, and then it was like a domino effect. And
Yeah.
that, I think that in itself is beautiful. When you go to these events, you witness that and you think, oh, actually, and you realize it's not that hard.
Yeah.
It is actually our duty to
It's
do it.
the run up to it is hard.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I have
Yeah.
been mega stressed, guys.
Yeah.
Stressed. But like when it's over and done with, it's like that sigh of
So
relief,
worth
and
it.
I'm like, oh my god, like I thank Allah
So
subhanahu wa
you got the
ta'ala.
opportunity.
No, yeah, first and foremost, that I got the opportunity to do so. But everybody in that room had the opportunity to help those less fortunate, and I just think that's such a beautiful thing. Like we all came together for such an
And you
amazing
know,
cause.
and you know, like we're, like, you know, on a daily, I complain that, oh, I'm so tired today, and I've got work today, and all of these things. But actually, there are people out there that are struggling so much. You know, that they don't have food on the
it
table.
puts it into
They don't
perspective,
have-
right?
They don't have, you know, they're eating kajur, like they're probably halving and sharing that one kajur between the whole family. And, you know, we make so much food and so much of it goes to waste. Like, how many things do we make in Ramadan, and how many times is our food going to waste? Like, I just think it's so important in the last 10 days of Ramadan for everyone to really pray, to give charity, to pray for these people, because, you know, if we don't help them, then like, what is the world coming to? What's going to happen?
It's
It's
true.
our duty.
It's
It really
true.
is our duty.
Is there any lasting messages you want to give out to all the listeners before we wrap it up and say goodbye?
Moving back into just empowerment, not just female empowerment, but just empowerment in general, my message to everyone would be that you are enough. You are enough in yourself. Allah has created you the way exactly how you are. Every single molecule in your body was specially designed by Allah, and if you do not like that, that means you're saying that you do not like what He's created,
you're
what He's
questioning
chosen
Allah.
for you. So just love yourself fully, completely, and wholly.
And love others around
I
you
love
as
you
well.
guys. I was just about to say,
Yeah.
I really love you guys, and I really love the conversation that we've had today.
Me
Like,
too.
I feel like it's just love galore in this room right
I
now.
think we should give a shout out to all the women there who are at home working
Yeah.
hard, having a family.
If
at
you're
the same
waking up-
Making
time.
sari, making iftar.
To the single women who are still wondering why we're not married, don't worry, we're gonna get there. You
One
know.
day.
To all the women who have just had babies and some are going through like postnatal depression, it's okay. You know,
To the
that's-
women who
you
want
know,
babies
who
and
want
can't have
babies and
them.
can't have, shout out to them. Shout out to basically everyone for
Our
being
moms, our grandmas, because without their duas, we would be
Being a
nowhere.
woman
This
is
is it.
tough, but we got it.
Thank you
We
for
got it.
listening, everybody.
Thank you,
Remember us
everyone.
in your duas.
Bye. Okay, so